Folks, we are live in the studio in the drop zone here again, and I've been anticipating, waiting to get this baby going. And finally, I got my main man in the house with me. This is a busy boy, I should say, but we finally was able to squeeze him in with his busy schedule. But welcome to the studio, Drake Delaney. Thanks for being here, my friend.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
You betcha. So, Drake is a good friend of mine's son. Drake has been hunting and fishing and playing sports since he's been born almost, I think. I swear. It's been that kid's been doing things since he's been born. But let me ask you this, Drake. So, how many years have you been hunting?
Probably like 4 or 5.
So 4 or 5 years. You're 10 years old now. So possibly I would say, and if I remember, it's probably been since you've been about 4 years old. Your dad started dragging you around with him hunting and stuff like that, as well as not just hunting, but fishing too, right?
Yeah, I like fishing. It's fun.
You know, I tell you, when it comes to the fishing, I'm telling you people out there that this kid is not normal. How old were you when you was first able to throw a bait casting reel?
Probably 6 or 7.
Yeah, 6 or 7 years old. I'm 48 and still can't throw a bait casting rod. I spend more time with the rat nest trying to fix it. And I've personally watched you throw one of these things, and you can throw it pretty good.
Yeah.
What do you think? What's the biggest fish you got?
Last summer I caught a 7-pounder, and we mounted it.
7-pounder bass?
Yeah.
Where at?
Somewhere in Pocahontas.
Really?
Yeah.
Somewhere in a Pocahontas, like where?
I can't tell you.
What?
My dad won't let me tell.
Are you kidding me?
No.
You can't tell me where? Is that a secret for fishermen? They don't tell them they're good spots?
Yeah.
Nice. Well, hey, you're learning. So you've been hunting since you've been about 5, right?
Yeah, probably. How
many deer you killed?
12 or 13.
Wow, you've been getting after it.
Yeah.
That's some good hunting. Crossbow?
Yeah, and gun.
And gun. So crossbow and gun, you know what's next, right?
Yep.
What's that?
A combo.
That's right. You're ready, ain't you?
Yeah.
You're getting ready. You got to start practicing so you can get that muscle memory to pull that bow back.
Yeah.
You can do it. You got a bow at home now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So have you started practicing with it, or at least trying to play around with it a little bit?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah. What's the biggest deer you got?
14 point, probably like 135 inches last season.
Last season, that was with your gun, right?
Yeah.
What was your first deer?
A big doe.
Big doe?
Yeah.
What was your first buck?
A big 8.
I think I remember the big 8. It was a doe?
Huge brow tines.
Yes, I do remember that one. So you had I remember the doe, and then how many, was it 3 years ago you got your first one with the crossbow?
Yeah, or my first year, I don't remember.
Yeah, I can't either now, but I know it's been, you were little.
Yeah.
You were a lot littler than what you are now, 10 years old. So hunting, fishing, what other things you like to do?
Golf.
Golf, okay.
Swim.
Swim?
Well, I do swim team, but.
Okay.
And probably just, yeah.
What other sports you like?
Baseball, kind of.
Kind of like baseball?
Basketball.
Basketball?
Football.
Football? But pretty busy guy.
Yeah.
So of all of those, fishing, hunting, swim team, golf, basketball, football, baseball, list them off to me from your favorite, from your number one favorite, and then go down from there.
I like football and hunting a lot.
So that's a tough 1, 2.
Yeah, I'll probably go with.
That's a tough call, ain't
yeah.
it? I know it. All right, let's just do this. Even if you almost rank them as like two number ones. If you just had to, if they told you too bad, buddy, you have to pick one as your number one, what's it going to be?
Probably hunting. Probably.
Hunting one. All right. Since we're on a hunting show, I'm liking that. So hunting one.
Football two.
Football two.
Basketball.
Basketball.
Golf.
Golf.
Swim team.
Swim team.
Fishing.
Fishing.
And then baseball.
And then baseball.
Yeah.
That's 7. That's 7 things you're in, which probably keeps you pretty darn busy, don't it?
Yeah, it does.
Now let me ask you this, and because I can't remember, have you been able to get that first turkey yet?
Yes.
You did get it. Was it last year or the year before?
Last season.
That's what I thought. So you did finally. I've been on a few of these turkey hunts with you, and we've just couldn't get it done. But I didn't get to go with you last year, but you did get it done last year. I couldn't remember when it was. Yeah. So that's awesome. So since we're talking about deer hunting, we're just going to kind of go through. I got some things we're going to talk about, and I want you to tell me what you think about some things, and we're just going to work our way down and see how this ends up. So deer hunting, okay. What is your all-time best deer hunting story that you can think of or you can remember as of right now?
Probably the morning I killed my buck, my dad, me and my mom were hunting together, and my dad and my friend and his dad, they were hunting in the blind on the creek. And my dad wanted me and my mom to go to the stand by ourselves in the morning, but like I can't really, I don't remember like where it is in the dark.
Yeah,
it's across the creek too.
So, and that's kind of hard to sometimes in the dark, as everything starts looking the same. Yeah. Right.
And he took us the morning, and my friend and we dropped my friend and his dad off at the blind, and then my dad took us, but he thought we could do it, but he got lost. And
do what now?
He got lost in the woods, and he thought me and my mom could do it.
So he got lost in the woods, taking you and your mom. So you mean so you and your mom? So he dropped your buddy and his dad off, and then he was going to go back there and hunt, but he was going to take you and your mom to where you guys were going to hunt, and then he was going back with them, and you guys got lost.
My dad was taking us, and he couldn't find the blind. And
what was you guys doing? Just
trying to find the stand.
And just walk.
Yeah, we walked right by it, and he didn't see it.
Oh my gosh!
On the way, when we were walking to it, when we finally saw it, my mom, she was behind us, and my dad was like 20 feet in front of us. We didn't even have a flashlight, and I saw this hole.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna tell my mom. And she walked in it.
What?
It was like a groundhog hole or something, like a stump, and she her leg was in the hole, and her other leg was like her knee was up by her shoulder.
So you're walking around the woods in the dark, lost because Dad can't quite remember where it's at, and then in the midst of all this, your mom steps in the ground.
Yeah, I saw it. I didn't even tell her.
You didn't?
And my dad saw it.
And she. So did you guys have to lift her up and get her out of there?
My dad did. She started crying.
Oh gosh. So but it didn't hurt her. It didn't really hurt her or nothing.
She was crying pretty loud. And then when we got up the stand, we were watching my dad's flashlight, and he got lost going back to the blind.
So not only did you get lost going to the blind, after you guys got in the blind and got situated, your dad got lost going.
Yeah, and then he went the wrong way. Me and my mom were I think my mom videoed his flashlight. We were just watching his flashlight. He went all the way to the road. That's like 300 or 400 yards away from the blind. And then he saw a car drive by, and then he turned around, and then he got lost going that way. Like he went the wrong way again. And then he finally saw my friend's flashlight in the blind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so
Oh, and my mom, when we got in the stand, she's taking selfies with her flash on.
taking
Like,
selfies.
what are you doing?
Taking selfies of herself. Like,
yeah, me and her. Well, she had her flash on.
Oh my gosh! So, you're probably thinking, my hunt's blowed.
We're not even gonna see a deer.
Right, because you guys have done tromped up the woods. Mom's hooting and crying. Dad's tromping all over the woods, trying to get you in there, and then Dad's tromping all over the woods, trying to get himself out of there. And then once that gets settled down, you got your mom up there taking selfies with her cell phone in the deer stand.
My dad probably saw it.
Oh my gosh!
It was so light, like you could see the trees around us.
Oh Lord!
It was pitch black.
Oh my gosh. That is the first time you wait till I see your father. I cannot wait. He's probably going to be like, Drake, you are in big trouble for telling him that story because he ain't ever going to hear the end of that one. That's a classic. But you know what? That doesn't surprise me one bit. I ain't even going to lie to you. That is a good one. That I don't know that I could top that as one of my best stories because that's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. So 10 years old, you got buddies and you know other people that hunt and young guys, but if you had to give, if you had a kid at school or a buddy or somebody you knew, a young person, and you had to give them some advice from being 10 years old and you've already hunted for like 5 years, and some other kid that's your age who maybe don't have a parent or somebody who's took them yet, or somebody wants to go hunting, what kind of advice or tips would you give a young guy that's your age, or even a little girl who wants to try to hunt? What kind of advice or tips would you have for somebody who's just trying to start out hunting?
Gotta be patient. You don't see a deer, kill a deer every time. And if I would just gotta be patient, and if you see a deer, you see a deer. You just don't kill every one you see.
Right. So that's a very good point, because I think even adults sometimes become impatient.
Yeah.
And it's hard because when you're young, and you've had some pretty good success being young already, but you've hunted enough to know that not every hunt's like that, is it?
No.
So there's some days we sit out there and we may not see a darn thing. There's some days that we see lots of stuff, but not what we're after. So being patient that's a good point, because and when it happens like that, don't it?
Yeah.
Ain't that crazy how you could be sitting there and nothing's happening and you don't see nothing, and then all of a sudden you be looking in one direction and you've looked at it 1,000 times, and you turn your head and you turn back and all of a sudden there's a deer standing. You're like, where did that thing come from? I've been looking over there for 20 minutes and nothing's there, and all of a sudden I turn my head 1 second and turn back and then they stand there. Ain't that crazy?
Yeah, that's what my deer did this year.
Really?
My dad told me to look in that spot
In
every 5 minutes, a minute.
Keep looking in that certain spot.
I finally saw a big body.
And you're
And
like,
I go,
oh,
deer,
yeah.
deer. And I saw antlers. I'm I told my mom it's a big buck. And then I got my gun. My back was touching the bar in the front of the stand because it was behind us. And he went up the hill, and I got my grunt, and then he came back, and then he got in the opening, but he was kind of trotting, and I had to make a noise, and he stopped, and I just took my time and took a breath and
just got the job done.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. I mean, I obviously know how you got into hunting because of your dad and stuff. But what do you, at 10 years old, what do you enjoy the most about hunting? Like, what do you enjoy about hunting?
It's just fun being out there and getting up in the morning, getting dressed, putting eye black on.
Oh yeah.
And killing big bucks, kill a doe. Even if you kill a doe or a small buck, it's still fun.
Just hunting, just getting out there and hunting. Do you think that? Now, let me ask you: Have you had to do any of the field dressing yourself yet?
Sometimes my dad does most of it. Stinks.
Oh,
Bad.
that job is not fun, is it?
No.
That is probably the worst part. Is that part? Is getting them cleaned up and cleaned out and getting them out of the woods, having to drag them out of the woods. Oh, and sometimes it seems like they always want to go and die in the hardest spot it is to get them out.
Yeah,
it's like they do it on purpose.
Besides when you drop them.
Yes.
It just.
If you drop them in their tracks, that's the best when you don't have to track them.
Yeah.
You know it?
It's kind of fun tracking them, though, but then you get, like, nervous if you actually got him.
You know, it's funny you say that because I got a funny story for you. So, your episode was supposed to be episode number 4. My good buddy Ron Slifer, who owns a bloodhound tracking service, was supposed to be episode number 3. Ron and his partner, both of them at right about the same time. Ron and Gary, his name's Gary. They both got sick. One had strep throat, and the other one had an ear infection, and so when we were scheduled to do our show, they couldn't make it down, and so Ron's one of Ron's dogs had puppies, and so he was backed up with that, and so we were trying to make this work. So I had you scheduled to do your show, and Ron called me and said, "Hey, I can come down and get this thing recorded." So I said, "Okay." So Ron came down on Sunday. All right, drove all the way down here. I get him and Gary in the studio here, get everything set up, talk about what we're going to do. We get it all ready to go. I get everything ready. I hit record, and we do this podcast for an hour and 40 minutes.
Jeez.
And when it was done, guess what?
What?
Ron left. I come back downstairs to start editing and do some editing on it because I was going to post it after I did your show because you were going to be up next. I didn't have the microphones turned on. So we sat here and talked for an hour and 40 minutes with video. It videoed us, but I didn't have the mics plugged up and turned on right. And so I didn't have no audio. So Ron's got to come back.
So you didn't even do it?
No, but you know what was funny about that? Within talking to Ron, Ron told me that, him and your dad know each other very well.
Yeah.
Your dad's, he's done a lot of work for your dad. He's tracked a lot of deer for your dad when they wound them, and then Ron will go out and track them and try to find them, for them and stuff. But Ron knows your dad well.
Yeah.
So that just made me think of that whenever you said, looking for him and stuff, because your dad and Ron are on a first name basis. But the other thing I was going to ask you is, every time you go hunting, all when you're hunting, there's always stuff that happens. It just does. What's the funniest thing that you've ever had happen to you, like when you ever been out hunting? Like, what's something that just made you start laughing? That story you told me about your mom and falling in the groundhog hole was a pretty darn funny story. But
this next one's gonna be funnier.
Really, let me hear this.
So me and my dad were turkey hunting on the food plot one morning.
Yeah.
And we see these 2 turkeys behind us, and they went away. Like, we were calling at them. They kept looking at us. They were walking to us, and I guess they smelt us or something.
Yeah.
Or seen us, so they ran away. And I started calling with my mouth, like the
Show
call,
me.
like the mouth call.
Well, I mean, I don't know what you're talking about.
Like a hen call.
I've never heard one.
And I called them, and these 5 turkeys walked up in front of us. They're all jakes.
Yeah.
This was 2 years ago.
Okay.
And I was going to get my gun and put it on the stand, and I had it. I went to put my eye on the dot and stuff.
Right.
And I leaned over and I look over. There's a squirrel right on my shoulder.
No way.
Yeah, and he was just
So he was sitting, literally sitting, not on a log, he was literally on your shoulder.
I could feel him, and his eyes were just
So did you turn your head and actually look at him?
Yeah, I went over there and I saw something. I looked like that.
And he didn't go running off real fast?
No, he had a nut in his hand. It's like he was going to battle. and I just honestly shot near the turkey to shoot so it'd go away.
Did you get the turkey?
No.
No, but you had a partner in crime with you.
Yeah.
So he come down the tree or come from somewhere and just hopped up on your shoulder with a nut and was just like, "Hey, what are you up to, Drake?" You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah.
I've had them sitting in a tree stand before, come down a tree and like be on the tree and be right next to me. But I have never had one like literally climb. I've had a bird land on me before, but I've never had a squirrel like actually land on my or crawl up on me. So that's pretty classic there. That's a good one. I'm gonna have to tell that. I'm gonna remember that one. That's a good one. What about this? What about this? When you're out hunting, or I mean, you could even say fishing, I guess. I mean, when you're out doing your thing, if you're hunting or fishing, what is your go-to? Like, if you're going to be sitting in a tree stand for a morning hunt or an evening hunt, what is your go-to? What's your favorite snack you're taking with you?
I have a lot, but I like Uncrustables.
Oh,
jerky.
Okay.
Or fruit snacks.
Uncrustables are in my backpack every time I hit the woods. Strawberry only. No grape. You like grape?
Yeah.
Strawberry only. And sometimes, you said you like jerky.
Yeah.
A lot of times I'll cut me up about a few slices of just like deer sausage. I got me some deer sausage. I do not go to the deer stand without an Uncrustable. They're in my bag. Matter of fact, if I went and dug my bag out, there's probably an old Uncrustable still smashed in the bottom of my backpack because I make sure I got Uncrustables with me. And you know what my favorite part is? Like when the weather gets cold and then you're hunting out there when it's cold, man, I reach in there and get one of them and it's like almost like froze because it's so cold outside.
Yeah.
And it almost turns it into it's like a candy, like a peanut butter and jelly candy bar. Oh, I love it. That's my favorite. So your favorite is Uncrustables or deer jerky? Yeah. Nice. That's nice. That's pretty good ones too. Now you told me a while ago that you was on that turkey hunt. So give me your best. I want to hear it. I want to hear your best. Yes. I want to hear your best. Like if you're going to try to locate a bird or just give me a hint. Give me a little bit of a hint. Just give me a little bit of it. I want to hear it. I want to hear a little bit of it. God damn. That's pretty darn good for just a mouth call, bro.
Yeah.
Dang. What about let me hear what about you got anything on a deer grunt side of things?
No.
No deer grunting? What about if you're going to stop it?
Just a minute.
Yeah, that ain't bad. I'll take that. What about, you ever done any duck hunting or anything?
Sometimes.
What's your best? Let me hear a little of that.
Ooh, wait. I can do like a whistle with like a hum in it, but
like a
yeah.
Nice. That ain't bad. I like that. Give me one more of them turkeys again. Man, that is intense. That's good. Have you ever had anything call back to you doing that out in the woods?
Yeah.
Have you really?
Well, my dad, we were just walking to do the truck.
Yeah.
One day after turkey hunting, he just did a gobble. All of a sudden, we hear these two huge toms.
Yeah.
In the woods gobble back at us. And I go, Dad. He goes, what? Did you hear that? He goes, yeah. And I go, they're right behind us. He walks up to us. They're like 50 yards, but two huge toms. But I couldn't. They're too far.
Really?
Yeah.
That is pretty darn impressive on them calls. Now, I got another one for you here. This one here, I've been waiting to hear what you got to say about this. If you could have any at all, any superpower, well, like you were out hunting, like what would your superpower be? You only get one superpower. What would yours be?
Probably like you could like fly over something like the deer, like the woods, and like where they're located and stuff, and like maybe like just like turn invisible, like go down to the woods and like sneak up on them and then just shoot them.
Right. Nice. So be able to kind of fly over top of the woods or fly and then kind of work your way in. I would pick invisible too. I if I had to pick a superpower, I think invisible would be a neat one to have where you see a big deer out there somewhere and you're like and you know you got to try to get close to it. So just kick on the old invisible switch and just invisible.
And you can like the deer can't hear you, like you're soundproof or something.
Yeah, like they can't hear you walking. No scent. They're not blowing at you. Every time they smell you, just turn invisible and just slide up and then bam.
Just read the wind too.
Big old buck out there and just slide up there and bam. That's what I'm talking about. What about this? What are some things that, you know, now after doing some hunting and stuff for a while, what are some things that you think that you yourself need to work on or get better at when it comes to hunting? Like what's something that you think, man, I need to get better at this, or I need to work on this. I'm not that good at this yet, or like give me something that you think you need to work on.
Probably like being more quiet or like not moving as much.
Like when you're up in the tree and stuff.
Yeah,
Oh, it is so hard to sit still.
I know.
I mean, especially when you're hearing stuff. Like if you're hearing stuff and you're wanting to turn
Like,
and look,
yeah,
and
but you're like, even if there's like a deer under you, you can't even
oh,
look down.
and it's crazy because it's like your mind is telling you, like you're telling yourself, don't turn your head or don't look down at it. You know, like you're telling yourself that in the same
Yeah.
time, and your same mind is going, look down at it, go look, see what it's doing, while that you're telling yourself, don't do it.
Yeah.
And you find yourself trying to look, and you're telling yourself, don't, you're going to move, and you're going to see it, but you still see yourself going.
Yeah.
Every time.
One time, these does were like 15 yards in front of us on a buddy stand.
Yeah.
On a cornfield, and I had my feet like under the like the floor of the stand or whatever.
Right.
Like the bar.
Oh,
and,
yeah. I know what you're talking about.
And there's these does came out of nowhere, and I couldn't even move my feet for like 20 minutes because they just stared at us for like 15, 20 minutes.
The worst part about that for me, I'm telling you, it's the worst for me. And trust me, you're gonna run into this when you get into bow hunting. Is you'll get your bow up and you're getting ready to shoot, and you'll be like you have your bow up and you'll be within mid draw, like you're gonna draw back, and it's like that, and all of a sudden a doe, like whatever, all of a sudden it'll turn and look, and you're paused in between like two movements. And I swear that they can look like right into your soul. They're just looking, and you're sitting there, and you're standing there, and in this weird position, and they'll just stare at you, and you'll be sometimes you'll be shaking, you know, because you've been holding it so long in a certain spot. Like, put your head down, just put your head down, or turn away, just waiting, hoping like something will like get its attention, and they'll turn their head, and then you can readjust. But
especially when you're like in an uncomfortable position.
It seems like to me that's when it happens. Like you'll be doing something, and you'll be looking one way, or your body be adjusted at something, and all of a sudden you'll catch movement, and it'll be over here, and you're like, and you're turned because you was looking at something else, and you're stuck like that, and you can't move. You don't know what's going on over there. You can hear it moving around. You know it's a deer. You can see part of one. You don't know what else is with it, and you're just like, oh, this is terrible. This is terrible.
Yeah, especially when there's like it's just a squirrel, and you're paused for so long, yes. And you look over, it's just a squirrel. Squirrels are the loudest things ever.
They are, you know, but that's a good one. That's a good one, you know, to work on sitting still. I think even for me, like I think like there's things every year I say, well, you need to do this or do this, or a lot of times I need to get more patient, you know, like
same.
Because sometimes I'll be sitting and like I've so sometimes tell myself, well, you know, right as soon as daylight hits, all of a sudden I'll be like, well, I ain't seen nothing, and then, I've sat there till 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and I'll be like, they're not moving. There ain't nothing moving. You might as well just get down, and tell myself, just be patient, because you never know when they're going to show up. You just don't know. I mean, you almost think, well, they like to show up at, right after daylight or right before dark, like prime time.
Yeah, that's what they always do on the food plot. It's annoying because then you can't even get down, or it's so spooky and never come back.
Yeah. So being patient, I always tell myself every year, get better at being patient. You need to get better at being patient. So I think we all have stuff we need to work on when it comes to hunting. I just think we all have. Sometimes we get into habits and things that we need to work on. How about this? I got another one for you. What would be your dream hunt? Like, if you could pick to do something, like right now, I know you're only 10, but like right now at 10 years old, if your dad or somebody come up and said, Drake, you can pick any hunt, anything you ever wanted to hunt, want to go to hunt, want to do whatever, we're going to do it. Like right now, what would be Drake Delaney's dream hunt?
Probably like go to Nebraska or mule deer.
Oh, nice pick.
Or like antelope.
Antelope. Nice. That's pretty neat.
Or stag.
Oh, see, you know what, man? You're on my page. That's why me and you are buddies. That's why we're buddies, because that's what I have. That's what I was thinking. When I was thinking about the questions I was going to ask you, I was like, all right, I'm going to answer them with him. And that was mine. My number one was to go to like, I don't know, like New Zealand, and those big, massive red stag. Their antlers are so big and huge, and they're like just an overgrown, huge elk, deer.
Yeah. I'd like to go elk hunting because my dad goes every year.
Dude, your dad killed a stud last year. Yeah. That was a great elk.
Yeah.
But I think that's a neat hunt. New Zealand, or I mean, stag, Argentina. I also have as one of my picks is a moose. I've been putting in for moose tags. I want to go moose hunting and get a big moose. I just do. I think their horns are so neat.
Yeah.
That'd be one of my dream hunts as well. What about this? Who is your favorite hunting partner?
My dad.
Your dad is?
Yeah.
He's taught you a lot, ain't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that's a good pick. But your mom has brought you some pretty good luck, falling in a groundhog hole and all.
She doesn't even know what she's doing.
Do you?
All she does is look through the scope and pulls the trigger. And somehow it kills them.
You want to know something that whenever we talk about this that makes me laugh is when you guys was hunting. I think it was a couple years ago, and you guys was up at your farm, and your mom, I think it was her first deer she shot. It was like a 3-pointer, right?
Yeah, Larry Bird.
Yes, that's where I was going with it. And you guys nicknamed your mom's deer Larry Bird.
My dad walked up to, Larry Bird, shoot threes.
I love that. She killed a 3-pointer, and you guys nicknamed it Larry Bird. Yeah. That's a classic. That is a classic. Oh my gosh, that is a classic. Well, let me ask you this. Now you told me what your favorite, like with your sports and different things like that is, but list out like fishing and hunting and animals that you've hunted. Give me your favorites.
Like animals?
Yeah, and fishing. You can throw fishing in there too, like, bat or whatever. But like if you have to list them out one to whatever, like list out your favorite hunting and fishing, what you like to hunt and fish for, like one to whatever.
I like turkey hunting, duck hunting, and deer hunting a lot, but duck hunting's pretty cool because you can move, talk, eat breakfast, kill as many as you want.
Well, you got within the limits,
yeah.
But it's not like you shoot one deer and you're done for the day.
Yeah.
You can shoot your limited ducks, and your buddies are shooting ducks. We're talking, we're eating breakfast, and we're talking.
Watch the dog.
Oh, watching the dog work. Absolutely. So what about fishing? You throw some fishing in there?
Yeah, I like fishing for crappie, bluegill. Bluegill is pretty fun.
Not like a good bluegill sandwich, is there? Bass fishing's fun.
Bass, yeah, that's fun. But you catch more bluegill than bass because bass aren't as dumb as bluegill.
Right. Yeah. You don't catch as many in a time, do you?
Yeah.
So that bass fishing's kind of like work. Like you're constantly trying to find them in the pond. You're walking or lake. You got to kind of go all over the place to catch them, don't you? Or sometimes you get on them bluegill, you can sit in one spot and you can catch a whole bucket of them.
Put your bobber right on the bed.
So let me ask you this. So you know that we've got this hunting team, right? And I have been saying this for a while, but I want to know if you're for sure willing to be the president of the youth division. So what that means is if you agree to this, which I know that you're going to agree to it because you're just going to have to. I'm not going to give you a choice, but I want you to be a part of this hunting team more than just saying I'm part of this hunting team. So what I mean by that is being president of the youth division, which I think you've earned the position. You've earned it. So that's why I think you need to have it. But I think with saying that, there are some jobs that come with it. And what I mean by that is if you're the president of the youth division, one of your jobs is going to have to be promoting the outdoors to other young people, telling them how fun it is, fishing, hunting, trying to talk them into that they should go try it, and enjoy it. I think that comes with that job as being the president. You also have to come on and talk throughout the hunting season once in a while about how the season's going, and things like that. You're not quite ready for the social media stuff yet, but when you do get ready, you're going to be in charge of that. Like anything that's got to do with the youth division, you're in charge of it. You think you can handle it?
Yeah.
I know you can handle it. With that being said, you got to give me reports throughout the season, how your season's going. You might have to come on and we'll be just talking about shows, sending me pictures, so that we can put them on the YouTube page and on the Facebook page and all that. If you're willing to do that, then I need you to make this commitment. Can you make this commitment?
Yeah.
All right. If you can make this commitment, I got something for you. All right. So what I got for you here, I got a plaque here that says, certificate of recognition. In the following award is given to Drake Delaney. This certificate is given to Drake Delaney for his achievement in the field of hunting and in the outdoors. He has proven that he has what it takes to represent in the drop zone hunting as president of the youth division. So we would like to give you this.
Thanks.
And you can put this at your place. And you are now we've just made it official, president of the youth division. So that's yours.
Thanks.
Okay. And I got one more thing for you. And I'll have some more stuff coming out, but I got you a shirt. All right. That you can start wearing now to promote. It's got in the drop zone hunting on the front. The back of it says hashtag PYD. What do you think PYD means?
President of Youth Division.
That's my boy right there. So that's yours. So you are an official member now of this team. That means you have to represent. You have to do things right. out there in the outdoors and representing the drop zone hunting. And I think that you will do well at it. I think that you are the best candidate. I think you've got some experience on your belt like no other at 10 years old. And I'm honored to have you on this team. I know that everybody else on the team that I've talked to about it was 100% for it. And so that is what we've decided. You've agreed to it. So we're going forward officially as Drake Delaney as president of the youth division. So I thank you for that.
Thank you.
And with that being said, we will probably do a show closer to hunting season. We'll try to get everybody, and we'll all get together and we'll talk about our hunting season and what we got plans for and all of that when we get closer to the hunting season. But I want you to know that I'm proud of you. I'm proud of the young hunter that you are. I'm proud of how hard you go about it. I'm proud that you're not scared to get out there and get after it. You're a hard worker when it comes to sports and hunting. You give it 110% all the time. And that's why you get that stuff. And I want you to keep doing that. I want you to keep trying hard, playing hard, and doing everything right in the right way. And it'll be a good thing for you.
Thanks.
And we're glad that you're a part of this team. And I'm glad you come on and did this show with me. I'm excited about it. I'm excited to get this thing posted, and I appreciate it. I appreciate you giving me some of your time of your busy schedule, because I know with all the sports you're doing, your time's limited, and you was able to come out here and hang out with me. So I appreciate that. And with that being said, we're going to wrap this one up in the drop zone hunting here. We got some good shows coming. I'm not going to quite announce everything just yet, but we do got some neat shows coming up here in the near future that I'm excited about, and I will let everybody know when that is. But until then, we are done with this one, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.